Hello, I'm Jacqueline King. Welcome once again to my sewing space, where I come to inspire and encourage the new or frustrated sewer. We're back again and beginning our new zipper series. Last time I introduced the topic and showed you how to replace a zipper slide. So if you've not yet seen that video, you might want to pause this, go back and watch first, and then come back and pick it up, because today I'm going to show you how I prep zippers to replace. And I have a sweatshirt sample and a parka sample, and I picked these two for a very particular reason, and I'll get more into that next time. Today we're just going to size our zipper. Next time when we come back, I'll be putting them in. So if you're ready, with your notebook handy, let's go. The first thing we want to talk about when we're going to replace a zipper is sizing. We're going to measure the zipper because if you have a local brick and mortar store with sewing supplies you could go to, you may be able to find the zipper in the length you need. If you can't find it in the length you need, then you purchase one longer, and I'm going to show you how to cut it down today and size it for the perfect fit. So if it's not readily available to you, you can get one and make it ready. To begin, we're going to take our handy tape measure. No matter what jacket you are replacing on, you do it the same way. Take the end of your measuring tape, find that box at the bottom of your separating zipper. With the jacket flat, lay the end of your tape at the end of that box. You do this with the zipper zipped up. Don't unzip the zipper and do this, because your zipper tends to wave when unzipped and it won't be accurate. So with your zipper zipped, do not pull or stretch on anything. Just lay it flat, hold it in place, and where the zipper slide ends, that's your measurement. So on this one we have 17¼ inches. So I'm going to write that down. 17¼ and this will be for a nylon coil zipper. Okay. If you're doing a parka, guess what? It's the same thing. Take the end of your measuring tape, the correct end of your measuring tape, lay it at the box, the bottom of the separating zipper, smooth out your tape, and just keeping it flat. You can pinch them together, pick it up, and I see that this one is 23 inches. And this one that we will be replacing is a molded plastic. We talked about all of that last time. So molded plastic, 23 inches. So as I said, if you have a local brick and mortar at this point, you could go and see if you can find those the length, and if they have it, you can purchase that and you're ready to go. You won't need to shorten it. But what if we do need to shorten? Give me 1 minute. I'm going to get these out of the way and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, I'm back and ready to get started. Of course, as you may remember from the last video, we need our dike, cutting tool, and a needle nose plier. These are essential in sizing your zipper. I have this here, but it's only for our stoppers, which you'll see in the end. Okay, let's get started. I've got my cutting tool, my needle nose pliers. This is a piece of waxed tailor's chalk. You could use chalkboard chalk. You could use a pencil. Just remember, if you're using pencil, you don't want to make a really bold mark. But what we're going to do right now is take our measurement and mark it on our zipper. So we'll start with our nylon coil, and our measurement for that is 17 1/4. All right, so 17 1/4, straight on, make a mark. You can see I already marked the other side, and this is what you want to see. 2 tick marks on either side in the same place. Let's mark our molded plastic, and we remember that measurement is 23. Line up. Let's do it on this side. 23. See a little bump here, so I just press and flatten that out. Nothing is stretched. I'm going to slip it this way a little bit, make it easier for the camera to see. Okay. Make our tick mark at 23. You can see that, I think, even on the light gray, directly across. So both sides get a tick mark. And now we're done with our chalk and our measuring tape. Okay, let's get into the mechanics of it. We're going to come in real close. I want you to be able to see this. Once your tape is marked, pull your zipper slide down. That's good enough. Just far enough to release both sides because you're going to do them independently. The zipper coil is unique when we're talking about shortening. It's different than the plastic, molded plastic, and the metal in the method we use. So I want you to pay close attention. It's a little bit more than the other zippers, but very doable. So once I get my slide out of the way, I'm going to cut just about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch above my mark. Do the same on the other side. This is not precise. If you're a little above, I'd hesitate to go any lower than that. Notice I used my dike to cut through the coils. Preserve your scissors. Out of the way. The next thing we do is put our stopper on it. On a number 5 coil, I'm using a number 7 stop. That is because the coils are so bulky. I need enough of this to get around it. With my cutting tool, I'm just placing it in like so and pressing slightly to open it out just a touch. That's going to make it go on much easier. With my needle nose, grip it like so, and at my tick mark, I'm placing it so that you'll see in a moment, just giving it a gentle squeeze for right now. My tick mark is at the top because I don't want my tape, I don't want my zipper going beyond that. So now that I have it correctly placed, I'm going to give a good squeeze, a good two-handed chomp down. And that's in. And now we'll do the same for the other side. Rinse and repeat. Put your dike in, squeeze, it opens it out. If you don't do that little step, it's going to be really hard to get them on. Okay. Gripping I now place it. Give it a gentle squeeze until you know that you're in the right place. My tick mark is at the top of my stopper. And you can't really see it, but my motion is pushing this way as I squeeze down. A good two-handed squeeze. Now, I'm not satisfied with that. So what I'm going to do, and this happens all the time, take it like so. Push. There. That's on more completely. And then another two-handed squish. That's good. Now, once we get our stopper on, I'm going to show you how we get rid of these coiled teeth. So I'm going to reach up here. Got my seam ripper. You don't do this on a molded plastic, and you don't do this on a metal, only on your nylon coil. What you're going to do is separate the cotton twill tape from the teeth. There's a little thread back here. Once you do it a couple of times, it's very easy. And as I pluck that, I'm looking for this little guy right in the front. Once I find that little guy, the process gets easier. Pop the thread between the tape and coil. And pull on that thread. It's going much slower than it will for you at home. Pluck and pull. When you find the sweet spot, this whole thread, because it's a chain stitch, will just come down. Unfortunately, sometimes they're a little stubborn. And this one seems to be a little stubborn. Pulling, and obviously our goal is to release it at the zipper stop. I sure hope my editor will do a good job in editing this portion. All right, we're just about there. And I'm going to tell you, this is about the hardest it's ever been for me. So usually it's not that hard. Okay, once this thread is at my zipper stop, I know I've gone far enough. And I'll just take my seam ripper. Get that out of the way. Once that is out of the way, I'm going to stretch, and that reveals this little cord. This is what makes up our coil for our teeth. So with that released, get behind right above your slide, clip that. And please remember to use your dike to cut the coil. Do not use your scissor for that. Now don't worry about that little bit of fray. We're going to take care of that. And we have one side done. And now we're going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to do it again and see if we can get a little bit better result on this side. So behind the zipper coil and in front of the tape. Pop and pull. those threads. Now let's see if, here's our little front thread that we're going to be working on pulling. So the whole idea of these nylon coil, they are put on, the teeth are created by using a chain stitch, and it should actually be easy to release. Anyway, if you get a stubborn one, just persevere. You see the process, and all we're trying to do, because what you don't want to do is put a new zipper in with these teeth above the stop. You know what? In an emergency, it could be done, but it doesn't have to be done in a less than exceptional way. This is really how to get an exceptional result. Pluck and pull. And I think we're at the stopper. There we are. So get this guy out of the way. I'm pushing my tape back, and I'm pulling the nylon coil to reveal our cord. Take our scissor, take our dike, and I'm putting a little tension on the coil. Voila! The fray is not going to be noticed. You know, when my son Colin was a little boy, I homeschooled him for a time. The policy was worst first. In other words, we started our schooling morning with math because we both hated math. Well, if you get the worst first, everything is easy after that, right? And that's why I started with the nylon coil. Of all of the zippers to shorten, it's probably the most challenging, but once you've done it once or twice, it doesn't take that long, it does get much easier. So at least now you've seen the process of that. And at this point, until we get to the sewing machine, we're going to leave it there. This one is ready. And so now, without further ado, we're going to tackle our molded plastic, which will be much easier. Okay, let's do our molded plastic. To begin, we start the same. We're going to unzip. Down below are tick marks. That's good. Here are the tick marks. I hope you can see them on camera. It's a little bit lighter. Now, this is going to go much faster. Same thing, about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch above. Slip your scissor in between the teeth and remove. Now, before you can put your stopper on, and I want to show you something, I am using a number 5 stopper on the number 5 molded plastic. I take my cutter and right at my tick mark, I'm going to grab that plastic tooth, just one at a time, get a good grip, and you got to wiggle, wiggle. It's a little bit awkward on camera. Let me turn it this way. There we go. Get that tooth. Push with my thumb, and I popped it out. Now everything above that goes away. Look at that. Isn't that easier than the nylon coil? But I don't want to discourage you from changing a nylon coil because they're my favorite zipper for jackets, especially cold weather jackets. If you have a little bugger that sits on the end, just work him off. Okay, I'm going to pick up my stopper. right above that last tooth, which is where my tick mark is. I'm going to give it a gentle squeeze to place it. That looks good. You want your stopper right next to that tooth. If you leave a gap, that could be a way for your slider to make an escape. So you want them butted right next to each other. And guess what? It's done. Isn't that lovely? And now we're going to do the same with the other side. At the tick mark, find my tooth that is right next to it. And you know, I'm kind of giving a push-off action as I grip the tape, squeeze the dike, push off with my thumb. And we're going to go all the way up. This is how you do a metal zipper too. Same method for the molded plastic works for metal. And now that's removed. Get our stopper. Butt it right next. I just give a slight squeeze, whoops, for placement to make sure it's sticking to my plier there. Okay, now that I see it's in the right place, give a good two-handed grip. Squeeze that. And that's good. And that is how you shorten a plastic molded zipper and a nylon coil zipper. If you have your handy dandy Zippo lighter, which nobody has today, you can burn those little frays off. Use your Bic. Just hit it with the flame real quick and that'll seal that tape. Okay, and now we are ready with our two zippers. We have finished this portion. We are shortened. But I do want to say one more thing. If you don't have the stoppers, which you can order online, if you don't have them at home and you don't want to buy a pack of them, just take upholstery thread or several strands of regular sewing thread on your hand needle, and you can bind, sew, and make yourself a handmade zipper stopper. That'll work too, but of course, optimally, these metal stoppers are the best. That should guarantee that your slider isn't going to come off when you're wearing your coat. So, that's it for today. I'm going to clean up my mess here and I'm going to get ready. Next week, we are going to change the nylon coil zipper in that little sweatshirt. And I'm going to give you lots of information and tips on that. So I hope you'll come back and see. And if you have questions, if I wasn't clear enough, please do put in the comments anything you need to know that will help you to do this on your own. And do give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone you think might be able to put a zipper in their jacket. Have a great day. Thank you and God bless.